The Podbreed Network is strictly for the small podcasts that are up and coming in the vast world of podcasting. Podbreed is made up of many diverse podcasts coming together to achieve the same goal of being the best damn podcast network on the planet. Find out more at podbreed.com.
This is Mike Tyson. You listen to the XY show, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's going to be ecstatic.
The opinions expressed on the X and Y show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y show. With your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah, sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to another segment of the X and Y show. And I'm your host, Roosevelt. And it's Sunday, and it's hot. So there's a lot of people at the pool today. I'm looking out, and there's a lot of fine-ass women out there. I think women, like there's some women out there like with bikinis, and they have their legs up where you can see inside their thighs. And, it's not that I am looking. I am looking. But, they have to know. They have to. They know. They know what they're doing. They're out there, with their legs open. And, I'm just, why? It's not necessary. You want to get a little tan, just lay out there. You don't have to have your legs wide open, But I'm looking. I admit, I'm looking. It's some fine motherfuckers. As soon as I get through recording this episode, I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to take my chessboard down there, and hopefully somebody come along and want to play, and then I can really look, give me a little close up. I mean, I don't give a fuck. You guys know I'm a pervert. Shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm proud of it. Yeah, I'm a pervert. And, I'm on so I don't see nothing wrong with it. But it's funny before I moved in, I told my, the manager, she said, I'm going to put you on the first floor. No. Put me on at least the second floor. He said, okay, well, it's the same thing. Well, why? I figured you have a quicker access to all this bullshit. And I'm like, first floor, you can't see shit. Second floor, you can see everything. Second, third, fourth, So I wanted a better perspective. I wanted a better bird's eye view. Shit. If I'm going to be here, I would have something to look at. But it's funny, she was looking at me funny, like, this motherfucker, a pervert. I didn't tell her that, but I think she figured it out. But anyway, yeah. So let's get into this week's letters. First one is from Bert. Bert, how's Ernie? I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Oh, Bert says, my wife and I have been married for 7 years. At first, the sex was good and frequent. Now we might have sex once a year. I suggested therapy, but she refuses to go. I love my wife, but damn, what should I do? Well, Bert, normally I'm gonna just be blunt, man. You should leave her. That shit is over. Normally I don't like to be the one that breaks up marriages, but I'm not breaking it up. She is. And normally I would suggest that you get therapy, and there's something there that's not right. So maybe therapy can bring it out, but she refuses to go. So that tells me that she's not willing to do what's necessary to get better. So, and it's not fair to you that you're suffering. I don't know how you did it this long. I don't know how long it's been once a year, but it sounds like it's been a while. I don't understand, and it might not be nothing wrong with her. There's a lot of women out there who just don't want to fuck. I don't get it. I do not get that shit. And that's one of the things that gives me the most fear. It's not losing all my shit. It's not financials and prenup and all that. It's not getting pussy. Being in a marriage for multiple years and not fucking. That's my greatest fear. That's one of the, it's not the main reason, but it's one of the reasons why I really haven't gotten married, because you don't know until you say I do. Like Bert, first the sex was frequent and, it was good. And now, just 7 years, you barely fucking once a year. So a lot of times you don't know. And then if the other person is not willing to get help or therapy to improve things, what kind of life will you be living? So, that's not fair. That's not fair to anyone. No one should be going through that shit. I think it's selfish for the wife not to even go to therapy, not to even try to receive help. So fuck it. Yeah, Bert, I think you should leave. You're not happy. You're not being satisfied. You have needs and it's not being met. So you should leave, man. Life is too short to be miserable. And eventually, by you being miserable, it eventually turn to anger. And you turn that anger towards her. And that's not a good situation either. So I think it's good for both of you to get, she don't want to fuck, then leave her. She don't have to fuck anymore. And you can find somebody else who wants to fuck and satisfy your needs. So yeah, that's what I would do, Bert. Get the fuck out of that shit, man. Life is too short to be unhappy. And when you fucking once a year, you can't be happy. A lot of you say, well, it's more things to sex, Roosevelt. Yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And I don't hear nobody saying that but women. Oh, it's more things than sex. Sex is not the most important thing. That's bullshit. So I don't want to hear that shit. So life is too short to be unhappy. If you're not fucking, then you're not happy. Fuck all that shit. So get out of that, Bert. Get out of that shit, man. Find you a nice woman that wants to fuck you. Too many women out there that would give you pussy that, at will, and be home suffering, getting it once a year. So anyway, I'm curious to know when she give it to you, Christmas or your birthday? Shit. Next question is from Bethany. Me and my boyfriend has been dating for 10 years. Every time I even mention the word marriage, he changes the subject. It's almost like he doesn't want to get married. What's your take? Well, Bethany, he doesn't want to get married. And he's not going to get married. He's not going to marry you. You motherfuckers just don't listen, or you have poor listening comprehension skills. I don't know. I did an episode on this subject. It was a while ago, but I did it. Basically asking women why they're giving their milk away for free. And if you've been dating a guy for 10 years, you're nothing but a milk farmer. You know, you're a dairy cow. You're getting milked by the farmer, the boyfriend. Every time he need some milk, he comes to you and fuck you. You know, it's 10 years. He's not gonna marry you, baby. He's not gonna marry you. Well, why would he? He getting all the pussy he want and no pressure. You know, not really. So why would he marry you? It's been 10 years. He's good. It doesn't take that long, ladies. I'm going to say it again because some of you don't listen. It does not take that long. I don't know how old you are, Bethany, but you probably in your 30s at least. So, you know, a man knows that he wants to get married after a year. Some quicker than that, some 6 months. And they're like, I'm gonna marry this chick. This is the one. A year. 2 at most. 2 at the very most. If you have distractions in life, you have your job and, you know, shit might happen with family and blah, 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 blah. 2 years at the most. But a year, a man, you know, yeah, I'm gonna marry this one. This is the one. Does not take no fucking 10 years. Now, ladies, if you are one of those women who don't want to get married and you good at just getting fucked, then it doesn't matter how long it takes because you don't want to get married. But if you're a lady who wants to get married, wants to start a family, if the guy does not show any intention on getting married after a year, move on. Do not waste your time. Do not waste your youth on a motherfucker that don't want to marry you. And don't waste your mileage on your pussy. I don't know why that's so hard to see, but a lot of times women get in these long relationships and I'm going to change him. I'm going to change him. I'm going to change his heart. No, you're not. You're not going to change him. And why would you? If you don't want to get married, then fuck it. Move on. Find someone who does. Why would you want to change someone who don't want to get married? Find someone who that's what they're looking for, to start a family and get married. Why try to change your motherfucker's mind? That's some hard shit. And it might not never happen. Whereas you get someone who's looking for that, it's very easy. You know, you'd be married in a year and a half. So, I done said this many times. Move on. If you want to get married, it sounds like you do. And it sounds like your boyfriend don't. He's happy. He's fucking you anytime he get ready, putting his dick in your mouth and nothing all in you. He's happy with doing that. And he's not going to marry you after 10 years. I know some of you are saying, well, that's not true, Rosa. Me and my husband, we dated for 15 years and we got married. Well, good for you. You let a motherfucker get on top of you for 15 years without having accountability of being your husband. That's not something I would brag about. And there are exceptions to the rules, but I mean, I guess, you know, my take on that was like after 15 years, he was like, damn. I guess I'll go ahead and marry the bitch. Ain't got nobody else. She been there and I'm getting up in age. I'm going to need somebody to wipe my ass in a little while. So I'll go ahead and marry her. Fuck. Is it love or is it for need? So I don't want to hear that bullshit. Oh, we got married after 15 years. Good for you. Ladies, listen to me. I know you're always saying, oh, Rosemary, you so... I talk about what's good for the X's and the Y's. This is for the X's. If you want to get married and you're dating a guy that does not want to get married, and you find out he does not want to get married, move on. I don't know how simple I can say it. Don't try to change him. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your youth. Don't waste your pussy mileage on someone who does not desire the same things as you do. It's that simple. So, Bethany, he does not want to get married. He's not going to marry you. He's happy with just fucking you. So you have to make a decision. Are you willing to take a chance and be around another 10 years, wasting your life, basically? Your pussy miles and all that kind of stuff. Your time clock to have children if you want. You want to take a chance on that? Or move on. Find someone who wants the same thing that you do. So you have to make a decision. Me personally, you want to get married? Drop that motherfucker tomorrow. Move on. All right. This week's episode, I want to talk about the reason why people get married. So the title of the episode is Why Did You, this is for the people that is already married, and why would you get married? Why did you? Why would you get married? For those of you who are listening who are married already, what was the reason that you got married? Look at the person that's standing or sitting next to you and think about what is the reason that you got married, and be honest. Some of you can't be honest though. I ain't trying to get nobody hurt, but those of you who are single who are listening, what are the reasons that you would marry someone? You know, now those of you who are married already, or if you're single, why did you marry her? Did she get pregnant? Did she got pregnant and you said, well, I got to do the right thing and marry her? Or you saying to yourself, if you're single, if she got pregnant, yeah, I guess I'll marry her. Which that's not guaranteed because a lot of people still don't. They just pay child support. But some people, that's if the woman gets pregnant, they say, okay, well, I got to do the right thing. Is that the reason that you got married? If you're married and because she got pregnant, you know, that's not nothing to be embarrassed about. That's life. You know, that happens a lot more than we would think of couples getting married just because the woman got pregnant or, you know, the guy got someone pregnant. You know, that happens a lot with a lot of couples. Is that the reason why you got married? You know, because your oldest, Junior, was coming and you didn't want Junior to have a life of being a kid without a father, so you married your girl. And that's something I would have got married about, you know, when I was younger. You know, I said if I ever got a girl pregnant, I would definitely do the right thing and marry her, right? Just to have a family. Is it right? Huh? What is right? What is a good reason to get married? That's a noble reason to have a family, a complete family, to provide a 2-parent household to your kid. That's a noble reason. Is it right? Huh? Depending on who you talk to. That is a reason, though. A lot of you are married today because somebody got pregnant. You know, that one time you didn't use a condom, she got pregnant. You know. What is another reason? Think about it. Loneliness. A lot of people don't want to be lonely. So I'm getting older. I don't know how long I'm going to keep my looks, my ass, my titties from sagging. I don't want to be lonely, which is happening to a lot of you women today, right now. A lot of you are very lonely. A lot of guys are lonely. Works both ways. So loneliness is definitely a reason why someone would just get married. I don't want to be by myself when I get old. Was that a reason for you? If you're married right now, listen to this. Was loneliness your reason? Or if you're single, would you marry someone just to avoid being lonely? I know some of you saying, oh, absolutely not. Fuck that. You get a dog. Get a cat. It's easy to say. But a lot of people get married because of that reason. Is that your reason? Is it right? Depends on who you talk to. Another reason why someone would get married, to reproduce. The guy wanted to pass on his legacy, so he got to get a wife. Well, he doesn't have to get a wife to do that, but it's better to get a wife to pass on his legacy just to have kids. A lot of women, they get married just to have a family, just to have kids. Was that your reason? Just to reproduce and to have children? Is that a noble, good reason to get married? Depending on who you talk to. Right and wrong is different for different people. What's good for you might not be good for me. Maybe I wouldn't do that just to reproduce, but maybe I would do it to if she got pregnant or to avoid loneliness. I don't know. What was your reason? Was it just to reproduce? Another reason someone might get married, financials. You need somebody to help you pay these damn bills. One girl told me one time in Atlanta, I never forget this shit. She said, because we was kind of starting to get serious, and she fucked up and said that, if we ever got married, I would expect you to take care of your family. I said, yeah. I'm thinking like, what is shit going, right? I said, yeah, of course. And she said her idea of the man taking care of the family is he takes care of everything, like the bills and every fucking thing. And the women just buy groceries. And I thought she was bullshitting, right? And I started laughing. And she was serious, she was dead ass serious. And she was looking at me like, what the fuck's so funny, And I realized, I said, you serious? Yeah. The women just do the groceries, the guy. So you want the guy to do the car notes and mortgage and everything else. And the woman just worry the lights, everything. And the woman just worry about groceries? You serious? Yeah, that's the way it should be. So, that relationship didn't last too much longer after that. She didn't have no good pussy anyway. But, it's financials. If you're married right now, did you get married because it's easier or it's very much more convenient to be married because someone is helping you out with the financials? Instead of paying $1,000 a month, you're paying $500. You're splitting, depending on your jobs, and et cetera, right? But the bottom line is you have help. So a lot of people get married because of financials. It's easier to be going through life with two incomes than it is by yourself. Is that right? Depending on who you talk to. There's a lot of couples out there who got married because of economics. Not nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes those marriages work better than the ones that are traditional. What is traditional? What is traditional to you? What's good for you may not be good for me. So did you ask yourself, did you get married because of financials? Would you get married because of financials? What is a good reason to get married for you? Another reason, sex. The sex is good. How many of you got married because the pussy is so good? How many of you got married because the dick is so good? This girl told me one time, your dick's so good. she was like an addict. Your dick's so good. And I know. I got some good dick. Good dick. I know I do. But that ain't the reason why I want somebody to marry me. I don't want somebody to marry me because my dick is good. Me personally, I don't want that. Because something happened, when my dick don't work right, then where we going then? And that's what's happening to a lot of people. They get married for the wrong reasons. I think that's wrong. You get married because she has good pussy, or good dick, and eventually maybe she don't want to fuck, or who knows, she can't fuck, or he get prostate cancer, he can't fuck like he used to. He loses it. Then what? But how many of you that are listening to this have gotten married because the sex was good? It happens every day. How many of you that would get married because the sex is good? How many of you that's a requirement? The sex has to be good to get married. Is that a good reason? Depending on who you talk to. Another reason someone might get married, and I know a lot of you are going to laugh at this, but she can cook. Some of you say, nah, Roosevelt, you crazy. That's bullshit. That's not. Because it's such a rarity nowadays because a lot of women can't cook worth a damn. So a lot of times when you meet up with a woman that can actually cook, that shit is a game changer. No matter how she look. You ever see this couple and the woman ugly and the guy look like a model? She probably can cook. She probably got some good pussy too. But I mean, it is a valid reason in these days. These days in time, it's a valid reason. 30 years ago, no. Because all the women knew how to cook. Or more women knew how to cook. Everybody knew how to cook back then. Bake, all kind of shit. Homemade. Now, women don't know how to cook worth a damn. So when you run across one that can, it's like, damn, I have to marry this one. Can't let this one get away. She all right. She good. She got good communication and she look all right. Look decent. Coming from a different family. Fuck it. Let's get married. Fry me some chicken. Shit. But that is a valid reason. Is that the reason you got married? Because your wife can cook? Or your husband can cook? It goes both ways. Because I can cook. A lot of women want to get with guys. Oh, shit, he can cook. He can clean. And damn, he's a keeper. Is that the reason why you got married? Because they can cook? Would that be a reason that you get married because they can cook? Is it right? Depending on who you talk to. Another reason someone might get married, they are attractive, right? You have what they call a Barbie wife. You know, those executives, and they married the I forget that the Barbie wife, and they call it arm wife, model wife, some shit like that. Well, basically, they have a very pretty wife, and that's all she is. She's there, just to look pretty, just all for the optics. And there goes both ways too. There's women who get with guys because they're very handsome. Oh, I have good babies with him. I think he's not my ideal guy, but I'll get with him. We'll have babies. They'll be very cute, very nice looking children because he's handsome. Yeah, there's people who think like that. Getting with someone because they are attractive. They're handsome. They're pretty. They're beautiful. Is that why you got married? Look at your wife or your husband. Is that the reason why you got married? Because they are so attractive? Or if your wife or husband is ugly as hell, then you didn't get married because of that. You got married because you really loved them, I guess. If they're ugly as hell. But if they're very attractive, is that the reason why you got married? Because they're handsome, they're beautiful. Would that be a reason you got married? Because they're handsome and beautiful? Pure attractiveness, which is bullshit because they don't keep that for very long. When they get old, they lose it. They lose it. Lose their hair, lose their teeth sometimes. They lose their six pack. Lose their titties. Their titties start sagging. They lose that over time. What are you going to do when they start to lose it? Oh, I wanted a divorce. But you got married because of bullshit. So is that a right reason? Depending on who you talk to. And another reason people might get married or would get married, love. So many people who take your name. Love. How many of you that are listening to the sound of my voice can actually say, can look at your wife, can look at your husband and say, I got married because of I love her or I love him? How many can honestly say that out loud and mean it honestly? That you got married because of love. Not financials, not because he got some good dick, not because she got some good pussy, not because she can cook, not because he's beautiful, not because he's handsome, not because you don't want to be lonely, blah, blah, blah. You actually got married because you love that person. How many of you can say that honestly? And I know if you sit in front of your wife or your husband and you can't say that, oh, yeah, of course, baby. Yeah, I love you. But only you know the real reason you got married. And how many of you can say that, yeah, I got married because I love her? How many can say that? I got married because I love him. I would get married only if I loved them. What about, you don't be lonely? No. Only if I love them. But what about if they got pregnant? No. Only if I love them. What about if he has some good dick? No. Only if I loved him. How many of you would get married only for that reason? Because of love. How many of you got married only for that reason? Some of you might have got married because you didn't want to get lonely, right? Or they can cook or whatever the case may be, or the other reasons I gave. It's a lot of other reasons. You know, you're in the Middle East, they make you get married and shit. Hold you down and say, if you don't get married here, you die. So some places you forced to marry motherfuckers from birth. But if it's not any of those other reasons, right, and you actually got married for love, is that a good reason to get married, right? I think that's the only reason you should get married. But, you know, I know some of you say, well, you know, at first I didn't want to be lonely. I wanted to reproduce. I wanted to whatever. And we fell in love later. Some of you can say that. We grew into love. But we didn't love each other at first. There's a lot of people walking around like that. No, we didn't love each other at first. I didn't love him. I didn't love her. You know, we got married for the wrong reasons, but it turned out okay. You know. So I just want you to think about that. If you're married already, just think about it. You know, just something to think about. Why did you get married? What was the reason that you got married? If you are not married and you're single right now, what is the reason you would get married? Would you get married because she can cook? Or just because he can cook? Or you didn't want to be lonely? She got pregnant? Financials? Help? Or would you only get married because of love? You know. Some of you say, oh, yeah, 10 years ago, I would have got married because of love. Now I'm getting older. I got to get somebody. Love will come. Love is the secondary. Third, fourth reason. And that's why so many marriages are not lasting. Because they are not because of love. So I just want you to think about that. If you're in a relationship, what are the reasons you would marry them? Which is the only reason it should be love, right? If love truly existed, like you say it does, that should be the only reason. It should be none of that other bullshit. Love should be the only reason someone would get married. Love should be the only reason why some of you gotten married. Love. Anyway, just something to think about. Just something to think about. Be sure to check out past episodes of the XY Show that you may have missed. You can go on my website and also catch up on my social media. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram. You can catch all of that, my past episodes and my social media on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com. There's also a store where you can buy a shirt, take a picture, send it to me. If you're a woman, wet it first, then send it to me. I'm just kidding. But be sure to check out. You can just leave a comment on my website as well. And I'll definitely read it, maybe read it online or something like that. But just show me how much that you truly love me. And I really appreciate your support. And now I'm about to finish this episode. And I'm going down to the pool with my chess set and see what I can see. Without further ado, I want you always to remember that you cannot have love or lust without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.